Okay, welcome to everybody that took the time to come in. Thank you very much. If it's your first time in here, I'm Crypto CK78. Been buying crypto since 2016, 2017. If you follow me on YouTube, I was one of the first people to actually not put up videos of, just not showing anything. I would show my wallet. Here's a project. I'm also the top holder of this project. So I'm just known in Crypto Magazine for finding early projects, 1000x to my record is 3,770x. So I'm kind of proud of that. It didn't happen by fluke. Spend literally 20 hours a day on here, crypto, because it's really the only way to be successful. So we're looking at Elephant Money. For anybody new to the project and sees the higher market cap, don't be alarmed by that market cap. It's in our belief that this will be a top 10 CMC listing, like it'll move to the top 10. Realistically, right now, when it gets corrected on CoinMarketCap, this is around 64 to 66th. If they correct that market cap, because I guess there's some kind of graveyard they're not counting right now, or they're just not. It's CoinMarketCap. It's never been 100% accurate. But anybody can go on CoinMarketCap, because I've seen messages saying, "Oh, soon we'll be in the top 100." No, we are in the top 100. It's basically getting safe mooned right now, where it's just not calculated right. So right now we're about 60. We're in the 60s. Let's put it that way. With Elephant Money, the end goal here is to be in the top 10, which the contract seems to be written and done beautifully. The algorithm is like perfect. The growth is perfect, where we're not getting, those 100x days where you're going to see a straight green line up, which in turn is going to be a straight red line down. Therefore, 3 or 4 people are going to make money and everybody else is going to kind of break even or lose. So we don't want that. We just want to keep it like this, even though I know it's been a tough 3 years and everybody's tired of waiting, especially with crypto, 2 years of basically hell. But realistically, if you want everybody to do well, the chart basically just has to just continue this. We don't need to see a 4% day. We don't even need to really see a 3% day, in my opinion. We just want to keep it in the, 0 to 2% range. And I am I think I'm in the top 500 holders now. I believe in the top 1,000, you might need about 42 billion to be in the top 1,000. And I also just fooling around with I have about 3 different future wallets now, just trying to figure out which algorithm I'm going to use for myself, whether I add 200 a week and then claim on the 4th or something like that. But SK Crypto is here. He's got his screen displayed. So this is an Elephant Money AMA. I don't want to bore people out with my constant yap. So we'll let SK Crypto take it over. And I'm the guy with what do you call it? My videos are pretty dry, I guess, on YouTube, but that's why I got subscribers. It's not easy to get 19,000 on YouTube. Took 700 videos. Yeah, because I don't really get excited about things. I'm kind of excited about Elephant, but I just don't show my excitement because I want to make my videos realistic on YouTube, and I want them to be fair and not biased one project over the other. But that's why I said don't be afraid of the market cap on this one. It's designed to pretty much just keep going up. And I have no idea where it's going to end. I'm usually pretty accurate on, market caps. People can vouch for me that are in here. I'm pretty good at this, or I wouldn't have made 7 figures probably 8 or 9 times already on crypto on different projects. But this one here is very hard to judge, but I think it's going to keep going for a while. And keep in mind, we are in a pretty shitty market. 99% of the projects that I'm personally looking at, unless they're backed by millions of dollars, which, that's a little bit of advantage, they're failing. So Elephant Money's been going for about 2.5 years, give or take. It's not brand new. Let's let SK Crypto start with the beginning, and we'll basically run through the elephant.money kind of dapp link and kind of start at the top right and work our way down, let him do it the way he wants. And this is recorded, so we'll post it later. So if you do hop out, we'll get a copy of that to you later. Okay, so we'll let SK go ahead.
All right. Hey, Mr. Crypto Kingdom. Thank you for having me, man, and the platform here. And hello to everybody else who may have not heard about me yet. But my name is SK Crypto K. I am also a YouTube influencer. And much like everybody else, I'm chasing the dream of financial freedom, right? But with every project I've diversified into, Elephant Money is just last man standing at this point. I'm sure you guys are familiar with whenever you read a nice white paper and the team is so genuine and oh man, it's great. And then 8 months later, it's dead, right? It just never pans out 9 times out of 10. And, with Elephant Money, it's completely different. And just like Crypto Kingdom mentioned, it is 2.5 years old. It is on the Binance Smart Chain, primarily with its LP and BNB, and also paired with BUSD. But I'll go through most of what this platform represents, and just a tidbit about me, and then also separately the founder. But I've only been in DeFi myself since January of 2021. And I'm just out here to look for a win, as I described. Now, as far as the founder goes, he goes by Bank Teller, but he is doxxed. His real name is Tony Perkins. His LinkedIn is out there. But this individual has quite the resume, all right? He is a computer scientist from MIT. He also has over 25 years in business and economics. He was a CTO at Fidelity. He's worked for State Street. I mean, the man really just knows his stuff, okay? And he's been coding for DeFi for over 6 years across Ethereum and Tron blockchains. And what Elephant Money represents is the culmination of everything he's learned, not only from his own failures and his own exploits and his own successes, but also from the competition, right? And what you'll learn here with the tokenomics at Elephant is that this protocol is here to save DeFi. Right now, people think DeFi is dead. All these projects are dried up, but now you've got a sustainable one, an ethical one, where there is no such thing as being late to Elephant. You're not winning because you're early. You're not winning because you're on the backs of other people that got in after you. You're winning because of protocol-owned liquidity. So we'll get into what Elephant Money is here, but essentially just know that this is aiming to be the first global decentralized community bank of its kind. Okay? And so when you look at this overall platform, if you think of Elephant like a business, right? You want the business to be successful. And if it's successful, guess what? The share price it goes up. And here it's the token. The token goes up. But with this business, what is the product being sold, right? And it's yield. It is sustainable yield paid for by the Elephant Treasury, aka Bertha, which we will talk a lot about today. But when you look at these other aspects of the ecosystem here, from the futures contract, which Crypto Kingdom mentioned, right? This is a 0.5% a day on your BUSD. You've got the unlimited NFTs. You've got Trunk token, and with that, its associated contracts with Trumpet and Stampede and Farms. You've got all of these different pieces of this ecosystem that all do one thing. They provide yield. And when you deposit money into futures, when you deposit money into the NFTs, when you deposit money into Stampede and Mint Trunk tokens, all you're doing is buying Elephant token. And it's going into the Elephant Treasury. So we'll go into the tokenomics next. Any questions so far? All right. That's okay. So when it comes to the Elephant tokenomics here, right? This is a finite supply, guys. There are only 1,000 trillion of these tokens that will ever exist, or 1 quadrillion. Some people like to hear it that way. Now, look, we are down to the point where we have only 83.5 trillion tokens left. All right. This is 8.3% of the supply left available out of that 1,000 trillion tokens. Think about that. So when it comes to scarcity, this token has it. When it comes to supply demand factoring in, this token has it. And so this is a graphic, a pie chart of what this looked like, back in May. And I'm going to play this and you'll see how the breakdown occurs. But when I said protocol owned liquidity earlier, okay, half of all these tokens are automatically held in a smart contract called the Graveyard. This is not a null address. This is not a burn address. This is an active participant in the system. that always holds 50%. But via reflections, okay, there is an inherent 10% in and out fee of this token. And through reflections, half of the fee goes directly into this BNB LP, and then the other half gets reflected out to all the holders, which is the participants, the Elephant Treasury Bertha, and also the graveyard. Now, the graveyard will hit 51% over time and then rebalance back down to 50%. And what it does with the difference of those tokens is it locks it all into the BNB LP. So it's a liquidity strengthening cycle that hardens the price, deepens the liquidity, and keeps the protocol, solvent. Now, in addition to the graveyard, let's talk about Bertha, because when you add the graveyard plus Bertha, you get a lion's share of this protocol that owns everything. This is less about user held liquidity. This is all about protocol owned liquidity. Look at this. Look at this one more time. Over time, the remaining 500 trillion left is being circulated between the LPs, Bertha, and the participants. But look at Bertha's growth right here. Look at this. Look at this. And then now you have the LP so small. This is that 8.3% that I said that's left. And now you've got a whale in the system named Bertha. Okay, this elephant treasury is so important. So, Crypto Kingdom, if I were to ask you to go buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or Doge or Pepe or anything out there, you could, but you don't know who the whales are. Every time you get into a different token, you are subject to those people that could dump on your head and leave you holding the bag, right? Your win or their win comes off of the backs of somebody else. It's unethical. But at Elephant, it's different. You know exactly who the whale is. It is this elephant treasury. And the larger she gets, she is that whale that is selfless. She is the whale that does not dump on your head, leaving you to hold the bag. And the bigger she gets because of everything I said, remember this menu. Think of this like McDonald's. You've got all sorts of items on this list. You've got the Big Mac with the elephant token that's collecting for Bertha. You've got the chicken McNuggets with the futures. If you want that, you don't want the Big Mac, you want some chicken nuggets. You've got the desserts with your apple pie and McFlurries with the NFTs. You got all of these things on this menu that all feed into the elephant token purchase for Bertha. Everything you deposit into this ecosystem, there is something for everybody, and all of that incoming money feeds Bertha, okay? And the bigger she gets, the more the price go up. The liquidity, the charts, they're undeniable. You can even look at Coin Codex right here. Price in the last 1 year alone is up 368%. It's outperforming 98% of the top 100 cryptos, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. And fun fact, this is today of 2023. At the end of 2022, this actually said it outperformed 100% of the top 100 cryptos. And I bet you by the end of this year, this will say 100% again. So now you're looking at a leading digital asset that has outperformed the entire crypto industry 2 years in a row? Bro, y'all hear me yet? Here's another way to look at it. Elephant token. It's outperforming Apple. Bitcoin, the S&P 500. Had somebody just put $10,000 in 14 months ago, you would be way ahead than having invested in anything else in the world, right? And that's because of the supply, the treasury shockonomics that I'm going to be going over with you. Now, in the 2.5 year history of Elephant Money, this has also been battle tested. We've already survived a $331 million flash loan. We're still here. And that was 1.5 years ago, okay? Zoom out. All the way on the chart. Zoom out. Look at what happened here, okay? This token came out in May 4th of 2021. And then in March of 2022, the supply shockonomics, the scarcity, the supply demand I was telling you about started to really rocket this up. But then Bertha, the most important holder I told you about, the whale who's not supposed to dump on you, well, guess what the flash loan did? It interacted directly with the elephant treasury, Bertha, and it forced her to dump on you. So as exponentially as we went up is also how hard we crashed, right? And since that time, the developer just put everything out there on Medium. He was transparent with the community. Nothing administratively was breached on the Elephant token or the Trunk token or anything in the ecosystem. It was just the direct front and back door access to this Elephant treasury, which right now holds 174 trillion tokens. But that money was able to come in and lopside some pools and redeem stuff and cycle things hundreds of times in one block. And then they extracted all that value out. You can actually see it right here on this Dune analytic. All right. So take a look at this. This is pre-exploit on the left side. But more importantly, this is the recipe on why this price go up. I'm using the past to predict the future. So check this out. Remember how we talked about the LPs right here, this 83.5 trillion that are left, or 8.3% of the supply that's left? This is represented in blue on this chart. And then Bertha, the treasury, at 174 trillion right now, this is represented in red on the chart. Now, this dark red line is the price action, but look at what happened when the LPs were shrinking, right? Bertha was buying it up, so her red's getting bigger, and the participants are buying it up, so the blue's getting smaller. And look at what happened when the red and the blue crossed. And look at the price action that happened underneath that. Look at what happened. It went parabolic. Okay? It went from a 40 million market cap to a, 600 million market cap in 30 days. And then some bad actors, they did what they did. Bertha got zapped, so the red disappeared. You see that on this chart, right? The red is gone. And all of the blue tokens that she was holding, all those LP tokens, got relinquished back into the wild. That's why the blue jumped up. You see this? And here we are, guys, a year and a half later. And somebody unmute. Someone tell me, what do you see the red and blue? What did it just do? Somebody.
It just crossed again, and it's getting ready to go parabolic.
Yes, exactly. The recipe, guys. This is the reason why the founder didn't give up. He had his own personal, oh shit, I just cracked the code of DeFi moment when this happened in the past. And now he's just been coding his ass off, nose down to the grindstone for a year and a half. And now we finally did it again. The recipe, the sauce, is back, and look at what the price is doing. It shouldn't be any surprise to anybody, okay? And what's even cooler, and arguably the best thing about the exploit, is that it gave everybody another opportunity to really dive in and get a cheaper amount of tokens, right? And now also, there's been all these governance contracts. There's over 51 contracts in this entire ecosystem. And now you've got a ring of contracts that actually protect Bertha. So if I mentioned this Elephant Treasury before had immediate front and backdoor access in the past, well, now she's got a ring of contracts that now compartmentalize all the incoming money and all the outgoing money, right? In addition to mint, checks and whatnot, 3 blocks before all that, all of the standard stuff, that's there too. But more importantly, it's the governance contract. So all the money that comes in from futures, the NFT sales, everything compartmentalized, and then it meters into Bertha and grows her bag, which then grows her value. Then to pay out the liabilities of the system from futures and NFTs, that money comes out of Bertha, gets compartmentalized, and then it's a community pressed contract button that then pushes the money where it needs to go. So now you've got all of these efficiencies put into the ecosystem that makes everything more optimized. That's why this right half of the chart looks like an elongated, organic, safer version than the left half of the chart. You see this, right? And the shape of this parabola that we're in, we're basically the equivalent of down here. You see how the last time we went parabolic is like a straight hockey stick? You've got the blade of the hockey stick, then you crest up the elbow, and then you're just straight up the shaft, right? We're right now in the elbow of a hockey stick. Guys, we've not even gone vertical on this angle, on this trajectory yet. And that's how early you guys actually are when it comes to looking at this token. And look, even if you put your thumb over the exploit that happened a year and a half ago, what do you see the trend line of the token is regardless? What do you see? It's only going up, right? You've never seen anything like this in DeFi, okay? And this cannot be pump and dumped. The largest human holder, we already talked about Bertha being the largest non-human selfless whale in the system. Let's talk about this participant list right here, all right? I got the holder list pulled up right here. In first place, you got the graveyard, just like I talked about. Second place, you've got Bertha. Then you've got the BNB pair, the BUSD pair, and then coming in at fifth place is this top human holder with 0.82% of the supply, right? And this person within weeks after the stress test we had a year and a half ago, the single scariest day where if anyone was going to do a bank run and get out of this system, that would have been the day. And this person doubled their bag within a matter of weeks after they realized administratively everything was fine, that the founder didn't give up, that Elephant didn't need to launch a version 2. They doubled their bag. And then all of the other top holders, they hold less than 0.5% of the entire supply. And largely, these trillionaire token holders just grew their bag. They didn't even sell. So you don't even need to worry about a bank run on this. Everyone's like, oh yeah, all these Ponzi's out there. What happens when sentiment turns around? It's like, we've already seen it. We've already been through that stress test. Try again. Nice try. We've seen everything, guys. The wind is at our backs. The token is clearly winning, okay? And you guys are basically so early that if you changed the 1 quadrillion supply to compare to Bitcoin's 21 million supply, you're looking at a $26 Bitcoin right now. That is how early you are. That is how much upside you can see on a protocol that captures value and stores value better than a Bitcoin for existence. It's already outperformed Bitcoin 2 years in a row. You think that's going to stop? Come on, think about it. And people, whenever they want to profit take and sell on this chart, let them. There's no sell shaming at Elephant because we do something different than all of the top 100 cryptos. There is fee collection. There is value capture on this token. So if any of the participants want to actually sell, go ahead. Guess what? Bertha gets a cut. Every time somebody sells, Bertha gets a cut. That's the key here. Volume is amazing for Elephant token. Buys, sells, people depositing into futures, people minting NFTs, you name it. Bertha gets a cut. And when a selfless whale gets a cut and she's holding the price, like a backstop mechanism that doesn't crash, that only means good things for the chart. That's why you see what's happening here. So I've gave everyone a mouthful so far. What questions might anybody have? Crypto Kingdom?
No, you're describing it so well that as long as you keep going, you're good. They won't have any questions.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll get 100 DMs tomorrow for those of the people that didn't show up here, but hey. Okay. Got one question.
I like the fact that you guys aren't shaming the sellers. Like that's huge because profit taking is should maybe not be encouraged, right? But it's a free market. Like you can sell.
Yeah.
It's
a free market. That's what the founder believes in too. And look, man, again, I remind people there's $91 million in locked liquidity. Let the people sell. We can handle the sell. The chart will flinch and you just made way for somebody else. This isn't one of those, low liquidity startup tokens that are oh yeah, make sure you get in first. And then when it hits 100X, make sure you dump all your $20,000 and then make that thing go down to a 5X. This isn't that low liquidity trash. You're looking at a deep liquidity juggernaut. All right. Sell shaming is not a thing at Elephant. It's actually And I wouldn't say it's encouraged, like you said, but hey, make that bread. Take your money and let Bertha get a cut. Because when Bertha gets a cut, she just supply shocks us up that chart faster. You're just helping the ecosystem.
Yeah, I think that's important, very important for individuals to understand the liquidity factor when it comes to Elephant. You can go out there and compare any $500 million market cap coin and compare liquidities to Elephant, and it's not going to be the same. Even with all these tokens that we've seen moon, like Shiba Inu and Pepe and all these other tokens that hit $1 billion plus market caps, they might have hit market caps that high, but they didn't have liquidity for individuals to sell. Key example of an individual is Shibtoshi, right? He's a Shiba whale. He's one of the top holders in Shiba Inu. But when his bag turned into 5.7 billion, he couldn't sell that bag because he would have destroyed the price. So liquidity is key when it comes to a protocol like this. Not only liquidity, but community. And the Elephant community is something that is next level. One thing to point out is Bank Teller's been in the space and building for a long time, and his community's been with him for 6 years in the space through the trials and tribulations. And it's one of the most diamond-handed, responsible selling communities there is in the market today.
Yeah, absolutely. Wiz, I saw that you unmuted. Did you have another question?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, yeah, I wasn't saying like encourage selling, but yeah, like just not shaming them, which is like really important.
Yeah, it's always a good thing. And, you know, what most of the smart investors or smart participants of this protocol are going to do is actually, so I'll give you an example. I know a guy who came in and they were debating on, oh, okay, should I lock up, you know, $50,000 I want to put into this? Do I put it into futures? Which, you know, futures is an ROI dapp that, like right here, you can see my total value locked is 42,000. I cannot take this out. I gave this up in order to earn 0.5% a day interest on it, right? And, you know, they were debating like, oh, do I put it into futures or just the Elephant token? And what they ultimately decided to do was the Elephant token, because here, let me look at CoinGecko, but these are the stats. We are green in every category. Look, year over year, 367%, 30-day, 57%. Look how everything is green. And so they ultimately decided, okay, why would I put it in futures for 0.5% a day when this damn token's earning 1.5 to 2.5% daily and it's only increasing? Wait a minute, right? So this person, they put 50,000 into the token and their goal is to hold out for their favorite multiple. They're going to wait for either a 10 or a 20x. Let's just say it's a 10x. That 50,000 times 10 is now 500,000, right? And then at that point, they're going to take out, let's say $100,000. That's 20% of their bag. That means they left 80% of it in Elephant token to continue to moon. And then they took their 100,000 minus the fees, right? But for ease of explanation, 100,000, then they drop that into futures. And then off of that money locked into futures, they now can live off of that. They don't even need to touch their Elephant token ever again if they have another yield generating aspect of the ecosystem. So listen again, people that are in the Elephant token have no reason to dump their entire bag. They're just going to take profits and feed a yield generating aspect of the ecosystem. So on futures, for example, that guy who put in $100,000, well, okay, it's locked. But if you do a 3 weeks worth of compound and 1 week worth of claim, their first month, they're going to take out 3,500 BUSD on 0.5% a day on that claim week. And then the next month, because they grew their bag with the compounding weeks, they're going to take out 3,700 the next month, and then 4,000 the next month, and then 4,400 the next month. Every month, it goes up their income. At the same time, Bertha, Elephant token, everything's just going through the roof right here. Here's another look at this whale. This friendly whale named Bertha, the Elephant Treasury. Over time, since June of last year, her token count in yellow, follow me here. You see the yellow down here. The yellow token count's going up. What's the token count? I'm talking about her bag right here. This trillions of tokens she's holding, 174 trillion nowadays. Well, back then that was 100% smaller. Okay. So her token count's going up. She's putting more of a chokehold on the available supply, which then moons the value. So look in the blue, look in the same time period while her token count's just linearly going up. Look at how exponentially her dollar value is going up. Okay. Because of the scarcity supply demand, right? Now, here's an old image from 3 months ago. But look at this. This is back when Bertha only had 144 trillion tokens inside, valued at $24.5 million. Remember these numbers, folks. That many trillion for $24.5 million. Then you look at her today, that many trillion with $95 million. You see the jump, right? You see that big jump? That is not by accident. That is because of the tokenomics, the scarcity, supply, demand. That is because of this chart right here. The LPs are going down, Bertha's going up, price go up. That's because of all of this. There's a multiplicative effect happening on this chart with the value. And I'll show you one example for futures, but this is how solvent it already is. Futures came out back on January 23rd, something like that, of this year. Okay. So we're already looking at something that is 8 months old. And in that amount of time, just look at the tooltip. If you're able to zoom in, if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, but I'll read it out to you. But in those 8 months, there have been $12.8 million that have been deposited into futures. Now, what do you guys remember me saying about money that goes into futures or the NFTs or anything in the ecosystem? That money buys Elephant token and stuffs it into the treasury. So now look at this magenta line. This is the treasury growth. So off of $12.8 million that has come into the ecosystem, the treasury has grown $84.2 million off of that very $12 million that came in. How does that make sense? Right? If this was a regular ass Ponzi, right? The day that futures came out, she was only valued at like $10 million. So $10 million in the treasury plus $12 million on top of that. Well, 10 plus 12 should only be 22 million, right? If this was a Ponzi, that would just be 22 million. Yet, what is Bertha valued at? 95 million. Okay? There is some crazy engineered tokenomics here that is unlike anyone has ever seen. And don't even pretend like you've seen anything like this, because you haven't. This is not a fork of anything. This is from the bank teller, the MIT genius, guys. So this is crazy. Like, this is the type of protocol that people are going to try and copy, but they will fail. Like the two that have already come out, and I know of a third that's coming out too, dead on arrival. Why? Because you can't clone liquidity. You can't clone community. And you don't have a founder like Bank Teller, a guy who's looking out for you, a guy whose motto is literally cash flow for all. Look at this. These are the NFTs that it came out. Look at what's on the rim right here. In Bank Teller we trust, cash flow for all. This is aiming to be the most ethical project you have ever seen, where again, you don't win because you're early and you don't crush, people that come in after you. You don't have to worry about that at Elephant because the protocol has your back. The protocol, triple audited, Tech Shield, Certic, you name it. It's already been through the ringer for 2.5 years. So you're looking at a deep liquidity juggernaut that is going to help just change the industry, change everyone's frame of mind when it comes to decentralized finance. And you guys are hearing it now, today, for the first time.
I'm sorry. I really
What's up?
I just want a quick question about liquidity. And it's really sensitive, so I don't want to be rude, but you brought up decentralized liquidity. You have 17 holders on your BNB pair, and you have 5 holders of the liquidity on your BOC pair. Why haven't you worked to decentralize your liquidity with your community when you have 22,000 people?
That might be a better question for the founder himself, but like, I don't know why anyone would want to. Okay, so there's 17 liquidity pair holders, meaning they took Elephant, they took BNB, and they created an LP token. I don't know why they would want to do that when you can make more by just holding the damn token. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question, but like that, that's on them. Let them do whatever.
But Bertha, in principle, the protocol should be taking away from their APY if they were decentralized liquidity providers.
I mean, I guess, but it's no detriment to the protocol. I mean, Bertha's the only one that's holding the lion's share of the tokens besides the graveyard. That's all that matters. Like, let them hold. Let them make little fees on the trades or whatever, but they're not in our way.
Perfect. Thank you.
I think another minute thing to show as well, that shows the capabilities of the project, and it's something small, but it matters. I don't know what it is today, SK, but what is Elephant Money as far as in the top holders of BNB as well as BUSD today?
Oh, I didn't bring that up, but last I checked, as far as on-chain, here, let's look at WBNB. Last I checked, it was the top 3. It was the 3rd largest holder of Wrap BNB on-chain. And then for BUSD, we'll check here in a second, but it was at number 5 on-chain. So guys, this is big. Okay, yeah, right here. Number 3. Top holder, WBNB. We have almost 115,000 BNB coins. And, I remember, less than a year ago, we were just in the top 10 and we've just been climbing these ranks. And before you know it, I mean, we'll be number 1, 1 and 2. But yeah, same for BUSD, I'm sure. But yeah, really, really good point, DS. And thank you for being here, man. I love it when you got my back, bro.
All the time.
So, yeah. So, okay, here's BUSD. Let's check that out. Really good question. Yeah, still number 5. Elephant BUSD, still number 5. So, yep. So it's all about just draining the liquidity pools. So really, right now, if you look at our price, I think it's all them zeros, 55 or whatever. But if you can look at it price per million wise, as like 55 cents per million tokens. This is where we're at right now. So on this chart, whenever the combined LPs is dropping right here in this first column, then you can look at the 4th column and you can see what our price per million is. And this is assuming like a 53.5 to 45% spread between BNB and BUSD pairs. Just he made this assumption. This is from the EMH Bailey, shout out. But right now we already saw that we are at 83.5. Okay, 83.5 trillion tokens left in the LP pairs. Okay, and when we find that on this chart, 83.5 is somewhere right here. And we're squarely right there. So we're at 55 cents per million. So we're already charting correctly based on this predictive model. So the more elephant tokens we pull out of the LPs, we just go up. And, fun fact, we're also about to cross previous all-time high. So if you look at the chart, if I zoom out, look at where we're at. Okay. According to this, the all-time high was like 57 cents per million, but I mean, that's not most trading websites. I don't know, CoinGecko and stuff. Or I'll just say the founder says that we will be post all-time high when we cross 610 million market cap. Okay. So we are within weeks of that, 1 or 2 weeks of charting new territory on this token and really just going beyond. So you can see that in this chart right here. Okay. Once we're at 75 trillion or 70 trillion, we'll be at a 770 million market cap, 900 million market cap. Not financial advice. Everyone do your own research, look at the 2.5 years of history, but you literally are staring at a multi-billion-dollar market cap project in the making that's already, like Crypto Kingdom said, it's already in the 60s, right? If we were accurately reported by CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, we would be in the 60s. Right? And we're going to just barrel through the top 50, the top 25, and dare I say the top 10. The top 10 of all cryptos. We've already outperformed all of them for 2 years in a row. It's not hard to do it again. Like, these tokenomics are unlike anything else. So, you're incredibly early for, what's to come. In my opinion, not financial advice, but this is a multi-billion-dollar protocol waiting to happen. And this chart is eventually going to look like this. That former flash loan is going to look like a chart error because this token's going from point A to point B, right? And you're hearing it now, and you are this early. Dead ass serious. What other questions?
The flash loans you've had before, what protections do you have from these vulnerabilities? Because with the LP being different, the BNB and the BUSD pair, obviously, is it the same in fiat value, or do you actually have an arbitrage opportunity here?
There is an auto arbitrage that happens on the ecosystem. So if CryptoK Kingdom, Internet Police, if you're brand new to this ecosystem, I would encourage you to sign up under CryptoK Kingdom. So he can give you a referral link, right? And this isn't one of those like, oh yeah, 10 tree levels down and yeah, 10%, 15% crazy ass rewards. No. These are modest rewards. They're only like 0.5% that goes to your upline. But inherently, there is a 10% fee collected. However, if you have an upline that you are connected to on the dapp, you can then buy the elephant token. This is the elephant page right here. You can go to this buy with Bertha box, and when you put in BNB, you will not only get it for 8.5% fee instead of 10, you'll get it for 8.5, but this also auto arbitrages between the two pools. So the cheaper of the BNB and BUSD pairs, this will automatically buy the cheaper of the two pools, which nets you the most amount of tokens, and then the lion's share of that tax collected. You can actually see right here, 8% of that 8.5 goes to Bertha. Right? It goes to Bertha. So yeah, it auto arbitrages. And so that's why when you look at Dex Screener, okay, if I type in elephant, you'll see both pairs that pop up right here, BUSD and BNB. Look at the prices. They're essentially the same. The only time you would really, besides Bertha doing the arbitrage, the only time you would really see a third party person trying to do the arbitrage would be if the spread of this was greater than 17%, 17 to 20%, somewhere in that range. If it's greater than that, then somebody obviously could sell on one pool and then, buy it on the other, right? But how it operates, it keeps them in line. Yeah. Good question.
Can I just ask a quick question? I know that like you guys aren't the devs, and you're doing very well at letting us all know about the project and about a lot of stuff. What is the community like?
The best damn community out there. Tell them, DS. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, dude. So this is incredible. So for one, you don't also need to worry about like SEC coming after us like a security. This was a fair launch, by the way. People sacrificed into this token with no expectation of profit. So there's no whitelisting, all that stuff. There's no team either. It literally is just the founder, right? He's a lone wolf dev who's doxxed. Again, I remind people. And the reason he does that is because he can't rely on anybody else. When you partner with other projects or when you outsource development, that is in introducing risk that he otherwise doesn't want to take. So he'd rather do it himself, which is really cool, in my opinion, because he is somebody that can actually envision how he wants something to work and then code it to make it work that way. And so it's really just him. There are AMAs out there. If you're familiar with the Whale Group exclusive club, MMKK, which CryptoK Kingdom is actually, that's how I met CryptoK Kingdom. That's how you got this AMA today. It's so cool. But MMKK did their first AMA with Elephant Money with the founder himself. Look it up on YouTube. There's the Elephant Money official channel on YouTube, and you'll see it's all him, right? I'm normally out there doing AMAs as well, but sometimes when he's not busy, he will handle the AMAs. You could hear it straight from himself. And I think that's some of the coolest stuff. What's really exciting sometimes is when he pops in whenever I'm doing an AMA, and then you get the nice little 1-2 punch. But, I'm just a community member. I'm not part of, any paid marketing team or anything. I literally do this because, again, I've diversified across DeFi, and this is my favorite last man standing project. This has outperformed anything I've touched in the last 2.5 years by far. And so now it's to the point where, you know, Crypto Kingdom is the type of YouTuber that covers a bunch of stuff. He wants to give people opportunities, right? Whereas me, I'm just a damn elephant money maxi at this point. I feel safe talking about elephant money because I know I'm not going to wreck my community, right? There is nothing worse in the world on my conscience than introducing a different project that fails 6 months later and they wouldn't have got into it unless I said something, right? Now I'm done with that stuff. I don't cover other stuff. Look at my channel now. I only talk about interesting tech and primarily elephant money 90% of the time because it's not going to wreck anybody. And there's no such thing as late based on how I understand these tokenomics. So, but yeah, it's a really good community, very positive. It's not tribalistic, welcoming to everybody. There's a nice Wikipedia built in on the website too with the built-in chat GPT. So you can literally go up to it and be like, yo, explain elephant money to me as if I were 5 years old. And it's going to tell you a story about lollipops and rainbows and all this, you know, whatever. And it's going to break it down for you. It's a chat GPT built in on the wiki. And the wiki was created by community members. Mike Drake, Crypto Stew, shout out. But you've got, you know, I'm just one voice, guys. Like I'm just a passionate member of the community and I spend my time to do this. Again, I don't get paid to do this. I do this because I want people to understand it the way that I do. Because this protocol is just that damn good. But besides me, you've got all these other YouTubers. You've got podcasters that talk about this. You've got Medium article writers that are writing about this all on their own, right? This is the greatest damn community, in my opinion. So, yeah, really good question.
You know, yeah, and back to the community, you know, most, as said before, most protocols that would have experienced a flash loan would have tried to launch a V2. They would have lost the community. They would have basically crumbled from the flash loan that happened on Elephant. And this community stayed together and kept believing in the project, in the protocol, in Bank Teller, because like I said earlier, a lot of them have been with him for the last 6 years in building things. And they stuck together, and you can see the effects of that community right now sticking together and continuing to believe in the project.
Yeah. No. Wonderful, DS. I appreciate that.
Even the biggest protocols, right? Like, I mean, look at what happened to Luna and all the projects that have been flash loaned over the last couple of years. They're done, right? But elephant money's still here.
Yeah, no, spot on. And even when I said this statistic at the end of 2022, you remember how I said this literally outperformed 100%. Someone needs to dig up an image of that. I searched through my phone. I couldn't find one, but this said 100% of the top 100 cryptos. And guys, the flash loan happened in the year of 2022. So this outperformed 100% of all the cryptos despite the flash loan. Get out of here, bro. This is not playing around, okay? And, you know, piggybacking on what DS just said as well, when it comes to, you know, having a founder dev, like, look, this system is already feature complete. There's no more like major tweaks that need to happen here. There's no mistakes or exploits that can knock this out at this point. And to answer the other guy's questions, what protections have been put in since then? It's these series of governance contracts, okay? So remember how I mentioned that Bertha down here had direct user interaction before and after her? Well, now you've got these governance contracts, which could be found on the trunk page, this governance tab right here. And so just as an example, this buyback, okay? So what this buyback button is, this is a community, anyone can hit this. I mean, you know, you can hit it. I think it's like a $12 gas fee. But if I hit this button called buyback, it is for this elephant buyback strategy. This $1.7 thousand will literally go buy elephant token and then stuff it into Bertha. That's exactly what I drew right here. This BUSD treasury is the elephant buyback. This is the BUSD treasury, okay? So if someone hit that button, this BUSD treasury will buy elephant token in the background, stuff it into Bertha. That's how this system works. And it's the same way. What am I trying to do? It's the same way with Trunk Peg. So there's another sister token that we can talk about another time. But right now, this token is at 23 cents, and it's going to buy its way back to $1 when people hit this peg button. Okay. So if I hit peg, this $28 will go buy Trunk token on PancakeSwap and then bring this token back to $1. So the reason, we're not post recovery, guys. Like, we had the exploit a year and a half ago, but we're not out of the woods. I mean, this chart looks incredible. Don't get me wrong, but there's still aspects of the ecosystem that we are waiting to fully bounce back. And right now, strategically, he is waiting for this elephant treasury to be probably dollar-wise $350 million, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then the Trunk buybacks on a daily basis from Bertha going into Trunk is going to be immense. Every day, daily buybacks hitting this, outweighing the sell pressure, and then bringing this back up to $1. So, for the hardcore who are kind of content with their elephant holdings and NFTs and futures, if you want to look at a over 4x play right now, you could buy Trunk token, and conservatively, I'd say by summer 2024, this will be at peg and hold peg from here on out, because it's supported by a very healthy treasury amount, in the $300, $400, or $800 million that is just constantly buying it on a daily basis. So yeah, really good questions.
But just know that Trunk's not the play right now. It'll be the play next year. So if you want to hold Trunk, then you can do so, and it'll be a 4x. If you want to just park some funds, it'll be a 4x later on next year, or it could happen sooner. We don't know, depending on the amount of volume that's going to come in the protocol. Right? It could happen sooner, but that's another safe play. But it's not the focus of the protocol right now. The other thing too about the security and the exploit. In my personal opinion, and I think a lot of people's personal opinion, the exploit was probably the best thing that ever happened. And not many people would ever say that about their project, but the exploit was probably the best thing that ever happened to Elephant, because it gave Bank Teller the opportunity to take out Paul Blart, like SK says, as a security guard, and put in SEAL Team 6.
That's
Yep. If the security before around Bertha that allowed the flash loan, that was Paul Blart, mall security. And now he's got SEAL Team 6 surrounding her with a nuclear arsenal at their back too. So yeah, it's really cool. And it just really gave more efficiencies and optimizations to this. But like I said, it's a feature complete system. There's nothing else that really needs to be built. God forbid, but if Bank Teller were to get hit by a bus, this thing would just operate on its own. Remember, these are community press governance buttons. He doesn't need to do anything, right? So it's a really good ecosystem. And who better, I've gotten to know BT personally for over 2 years. There's nothing nefarious about this guy. He's not a lavish spender like Richard Hart or anything. He doesn't live in a damn mansion with Lamborghinis. The dude drives like I don't even know what he drives, but he lives in a 2-bedroom apartment and he takes care of his 2 daughters. He's just literally trying to build something that his family, his daughters can live off of, because artificial intelligence is going to be wiping out all sorts of people's jobs one day. The US dollar is already crashing. You got BRICS coming out that's challenging its dominance. You've got all these things that are just uncertain in the world. So someone has to solve DeFi and make it fun again for people. Make it solvent for people so Gary Gensler and the SEC can get off our backs, right? Like, he's always like, oh yeah, crypto's just full of fraudsters and scammers. And, it sucks, but like 90% of what's in crypto is exactly that. So someone's got to damn solve the code here. And it might as well be elephant money. That this has already proven itself for 2.5 years. So yeah, really good talking pieces. I dig it.
One thing I did, SK, was I went through all of my wallets and all the bull crap that I've bought and that was down. I literally sold everything and put it all into Elephant. And now I just watch that value grow 1 to 3% a day.
Yeah. No, it's insane, man. And you know, again, remember the shape of this elbow of the hockey stick. Remember, this price action you're seeing on my screen right now, this is the equivalent shape of this. We are literally down here, guys. We're just on a blown up version of it. I think well, what's his name? Digida. He's one of my good friends now, but he likened it. He's like, put a Hot Wheels car next to a real car, you know, and you're just looking at an order of magnitude larger version of the Hot Wheels car down here. Okay, we're about to go vertical again. And even if you look at the price action on March of 2022, guys, like we're doing 2-3% whatever days. Don't be surprised when it repeats history and we're doing 5%, 10%, 15%, and 20% days. That was happening a year ago. It was. And so when I talk about this chart right here, okay, I'm not, you know, remember, I'm more so using the past and the recipe on why we went parabolic to predict the future. If we are literally repeating history minus a flash loan, there is nothing that's going to stop this protocol. And we're doing this in a bear market. Remind yourselves, it is a dead ass bear market and we are clobbering the industry. What do you think is going to happen in a bull? Think about it. Come on. I know you guys are getting excited. What other questions you got?
Hey, I'm here. 3 DMs about the revoke on futures. I can't quite remember how that works. Just my brain's kind of not working right now. But those are the DMs.
Oh,
I keep
no.
getting the revoke
That's easy. So, like, you know how some people are like, oh, yeah, go make sure you revoke your permissions on that, you know, trash project that blah, blah, blah rugged. You can go to unwrecked.com. This basically is just a built-in unwrecked. It just lets you revoke it. So if you wanted to allow BUSD to be deposited in here, after you deposit, just hit the revoke BUSD, and then the contract can't interact with your wallet anymore. In addition to, you can set allowances. Maybe you don't want to revoke it, but if you have 1 million BUSD in your wallet, but you only want the contract to be able to access, I don't know, 100,000 out of your million, you can set your allowance to 100,000, and that's all the contract can interact with. So, yeah, that's what those are right there. So, really good question.
Yeah, it wasn't mine. I was just relaying it over, but I'll take the credit.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
There you go. No, you're good. You're good. So, yeah, I'll just touch upon real quick.
Okay, go stay on futures for 1 second. And
yeah,
what was without getting into like 100 different charts, was like my way of thinking, at least what I've been telling the guys that put, 10 grand and up to start with in futures, because they've already, these are the guys that bought 20 grand worth of token, and let's say they got 10 left, so they just wanted to spread it out between the two. I kind of told them the 3-in-1 type thing, just because I mathematically figured that out with a pen and paper. I like to write things down because I'm old. I told them basically, hey, 200 a week just for an example, because that's the minimum. And then on week 4, claim, so then it's not going to come out of your TVL. Like your personal TVL is not going to take a hit, because by the 4th week, you should be covered from the first 3. And of course, every time you're kind of compounding that back in, every week's gaining you more money than the prior week as well, because your TVL keeps growing. It's kind of a way, mathematically it works on paper, but maybe it's a 6-in-1 is better, 3-in-1, but that's what I'm telling people, being based on a month. A lot of people can't afford to put in more than 200 or 400 a week. Average people can't afford to put in more than 200 to 400 a week, right? They'd want to, but they just don't have it, right? But
right.
I think you can still do quite well loading it up, 200, 300, whatever you can a week, 3 times a month, and then maybe claim some on the 4th. At least it works well on paper. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, it does. It works really good. A lot of people that are new to the ecosystem, I would just start with the token and then do your research on the other stuff, because after your token does a 10, 20, 50, 300x, I don't give a damn. Then you take profits and then put it into futures. Like I said, that guy, he could have put all 50K into futures at 0.5% a day, but why settle for 0.5% when you're earning 2% already and it's going up, especially in a bull. So wait for that. But to run through a quick example of futures, I mean, really, I'm just in build mode, so I try to do mine every 8 days or so. Actually, I need to refresh this. I messed it up. But I'm in build mode, so about every once a week, I'm putting in 200. So you can see right here, 7 days ago, I'm going to let this build up a little bit more, and then tomorrow I'm going to put in $200, which will then increase my balance by $200, and it will roll in my interest right here. Okay, so this will jump up nearly $2,000, so it'll be 44. But I'm primarily in build mode because I want to wait until I'm at 100K, honestly, before I start pulling out. But if I had 100K, just for instance, now I'm earning 0.5% a day of that, which is 500 a day.
Yeah, 500 a day.
3 weeks of three weeks of compound versus 1 week claim. This will be my claim week. So this time, 7 days in a week, that's going to be 3,500 that I would then claim out. But here's the kick, or here's the rub. Whenever you claim out, it deducts from your balance initially. So if I claim out 3,500, this will my 100,000 will go down by 3,500 to 96.5. But that's okay because I'm growing it for 3 weeks now. So now I'm earning 0.5% a day off of a smaller amount. This time's 21 days. Look, in 3 weeks' time, I amassed my available to 10,000. Okay, and then I'm going to compound that in. So plus 200 plus my 96.5. Now I'm at 106. So I grew my bag. Yeah. So, and then if I rinse repeat my 3 to 1,
kind of worked out well. Yeah, like that's why.
It does.
I mean, you don't have to go too crazy, but I mean, yeah, you can build it up to even 50K, get your 250 a day, or go all the way to 100. I mean, you'll be there in no time because you're already halfway there already. So, people forget that when you're doing the 3 compounds or whatever you want to call them, 3 more cash injections every week. After that, you're going to be sitting at. Realistically, you could go slightly over 100. Then when you take the 35, obviously you're going to end up at 106 a month later because you're going to have another 10, 11K. So luckily for me, I'm good at math. I can do most of it in my head. It's the only thing I'm good at.
That's good. But yeah, if you remember the first month I took out 3,500. And then look here, the second month I pull out 3,700. And then the next month it'll be 4,000, then 44, and then 48. It's going to keep going up. So you got a nice cash flow, but all the meantime, Bertha's growing. So let me hit upon this real quick too. All the money that comes, this is the dashboard right here, by the way. This is futures. But when this 518,000 came in 3 months ago, this bought 2.5 trillion tokens and stuffed it into the treasury. And when that happens, when you buy 2.5 trillion tokens off the market, it drains this blue, okay? Drains the blue of 2.5 trillion and then grows the red by 2.5 trillion. Okay, so that's a delta of 5 trillion that went from the blue into the red. Now, by the time someone locks up $518,000, by the time they want that back, the treasury doesn't sell the same 2.5 trillion tokens, right? Because she's growing in size and dollar value, just like this chart shows right here. She's growing in size of token count and value of her bag. So by the time you're owed this money back, she only sells 300 billion tokens or 500 billion tokens. She doesn't sell the same 2.5 trillion. In a normal ass Ponzi, she would, right? 2.5 trillion in means 2.5 trillion out. But here you've got a multiplicative effect on the money coming in. Actually, and my friend EMH, he sent me my own version of this because I was using some really old one. But this is just a multiplicative effect. I want to show you how when $535 comes into the ecosystem, Bertha, the treasury, actually 8.5x'd it to $4,500. And you're probably like, whoa, what? How can you just, invent money out of thin air? It's like, no, these are just whale economics. Elon Musk goes for the same thing, right? He's got like 455 million shares of Tesla. Whenever the Tesla price goes up to $2 or by $2, Elon Musk himself sees like $1 billion. Okay, it's whale economics. So this is what happened here. The current price is in this yellow down here. It's at, oh, actually, even this math is outdated. I should update some numbers, but we're in the 55 cent range. But current price was 49 cents. Let me zoom this in actually a little bit more. Current price is 49 cents, so 0.49847, right? And then the $535 came in and increased it incrementally. Look right here, 0.49849. You see how the 7 here turned to a 9? That tiny little price appreciation, when you spread it out across Bertha's 174 trillion tokens, that price appreciation spread out across those tokens equals this amount of dollar gain. Okay? You follow me? So the bigger Bertha gets, which she's engineered to do, the more of a hodl effect she has on the value. So this math is exactly why this makes sense. 518 bought 2.5 trillion, but by the time she pays back 518 a year later or whenever, she doesn't sell 2.5 trillion. She sells less tokens to give the same dollar value back. That's the amazing thing about the whole ecosystem. It's all tied together with Bertha's growth, and that's how she pays the liabilities of futures. That's also how she pays for the unlimited NFTs. There's so much cool stuff going on with this ecosystem, guys. But there's different color NFTs. You can, chase your favorite one. The rarest one is the Black series, which I don't know if I'll be able to pop one on here. I used to have only 32 of these NFTs, but after I did an AMA with Scott the Investor, I kind of hyped my own self up and I aped in on round 2, and now I got 51 staked NFTs, man. But you're incredibly early on this, and how this works is right now the mint price is 2 BNB, all right? And every 10,000 mints, the round goes to the next one, right? Right now we're in round 2, it's 2 BNB. But on the next round, price doubles, okay? This came out at 1 BNB, then price doubled to 2. The next round, the price doubles to 4. And then after that, it doubles to 8, and then doubles to 16 and 32 and 64. You have think of this like Crypto Kingdom. Think of this like real estate, bro. Like you bought a plot of land in New York City and you want your value to go up, right? Well, here, your NFT is like a plot of land. Your value's doubling every 10,000 mints. And then also on your plot of land, you built some apartments and you're collecting rent. So what am I collecting here at Elephant Money? I'm collecting elephant token on my NFTs, right? That's the crazy part here. So we've already proven that the elephant token is an appreciating asset, and you're telling me on these NFTs, oh man, it's not even loading, so I can't even show you something. But Control F5.
About what you're earning right now with those, and then when it goes up, because it basically, did we figure it 10x's right every round? Your like monthly earnings on the NFTs.
No, I wouldn't go that far. So right now the staking APR is 3,600 per NFT. So one NFT right now is 2 BNB. So what, $400, and you're earning 36% on that. But essentially I have 51 staked, and if this dashboard will pop up, please pop up. There it is. So far, total rewards I've earned off of my NFTs 1.3 billion tokens. That's only $700, right? And I put way more than $700 into buying all my NFTs. I've spent thousands. But here's the cool thing. As the elephant token itself price appreciates and does a 10x, guess what happens to my tokens right here? My $700 also 10x is to $7,000. You feel me? And I'm perpetually earning elephant token into my bag off of holding and staking these NFTs. And so these APRs come out of Bertha. You know how I talked about, there's a governance contract, coming out of Bertha. She's paying 1% APR into the NFTs. 1% APR. Let that sink in. And that 1% APR is being divided by the amount of staked NFTs. Now, here's what's cool. We've already proven that Bertha is engineered to grow in size. So right now she's 174 trillion, or paying out 1% APR. Eventually she's going to be 200 trillion. 250 trillion, 285 trillion. She's going to just get astronomical, and she's going to be paying out 1% APR. Her dollar value is also increasing because she's squeezing the elephant price. But when you think of the NFTs now, the APR on Bertha is always 1% APR, and she's always growing. So these rewards, this APR is actually going to grow. I want you to imagine one day when this is actually 100%. You know, it's probable. Now, Bertha's APR is growing 1%. It's just, you know, constant, but her bag is always growing. But you know what's not always growing? The sales of the NFTs, because again, every 10,000 mints, the price doubles. So imagine one day when each NFT costs, I don't know, 128 BNB for one NFT. Think about that. 128 BNB for one damn NFT. The sales of this are going to drastically slow down, right? This stakes number divided into the 1% APR, this is going to stagnate. And when that does, the APR is just going to keep climbing because Bertha keeps climbing, because that's how everything's engineered. So yeah, really cool ecosystem on the NFTs. So yeah, we've hit NFTs, we've hit futures, we've hit the token. That's, you know, I'm open for any other questions anybody might have, but that's pretty much what's popping off here at Elephant. So what y'all got?
I just add one thing before I stop talking, SK. You know, we look at all these blue chip tokens out there, and if you're an investor that parks money in some blue chips waiting for them to go up, even Bitcoin, Ethereum, these major ones, right? You know, think about this. We might not think it, but it's definitely happening. And the governments are doing micro buys on these tokens every single day, all day, every day with their supercomputers. You got BlackRock, you got Citadel, you got all these major companies that are doing micro buys on Bitcoin and these other tokens. And it's just, this is my opinion. The only reason they're doing that is, for one, they're late to the party. For two, they're trying to gather supply so they can suppress the price. The one token that they're not doing that on is Elephant Money. And you should probably consider this token as a blue chip project, because that is where it's headed.
Boom. Yep. Took the words right out of my mouth, man. Just like Crypto Kingdom said, we're already in the 60s, guys. This will smash the top 25. This will smash the top 10. Why? Because of the value capture. Remember, everything, all the buys and sells on the token is good for the token. The value capture goes to Bertha in the graveyard, right? And then once they get the token, they're like, oh man, yeah, what's this other stuff? Let me YouTube this random Crypto Kingdom guy. Oh, he's talking about futures. Then they're going to throw money into futures. Then they're going to mint NFTs. All that money just buys Elephant token for Bertha. Everything buys Elephant token for Bertha. If there's one thing you walk away is understand Bertha, and all these contracts buy token for Bertha. And the bigger Bertha gets, the more this price shoots up. And that's why we're green in every category. Like there's not a doomsday scenario that can happen that we haven't already survived, guys. It's already been through a flash loan. Come on, $331 million. We've already been through the negativity and the FUD and the chat. Like, we've been there, done that. This is not stopping anytime soon.
And the LP's locked forever, can't be touched, correct?
Yes, correct.
So that's why you see people like me, like this, because I've been trapped in Shiba Inu, couldn't sell, Saitama. I was up 900 grand in a week in Saitama or whatever it took off when they were releasing the wallet. And same thing. It's like, I like it for myself because the LP's there, because there's no point in having a balance on your screen. It's like going to the bank and asking for 2 million cash. Sorry, we don't have that. You know, that's my life story.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you go to the bank, you can't get what your actual balance is. It's all virtual until you go to get it. And
yeah, what should you go to sell and they show you that price impact, right? Crypto Kingdom.
Yeah, even Shiba Inu. I hit $1 million. I mean, which is peanuts really when it went up, because it made such a gain, and yeah, it wasn't fun. It was like probably 500 grand loss if I made the sell at $1 million when it was 4 zeros, whatever the peak was, 76. Yeah, it's, you kind of don't know what you're gonna get actually when you try to make those big sells. I've had a few big sells go through, and like literally 40 grand's gone, 60 grand. I mean, it's not really, I guess if you're up a lot, it's like not huge, but it's like a car's gone, a decent
Well,
one.
yeah, it's a punch in the gut, man. It's
Yeah,
definitely
like it's,
a gut, and it's because the protocol didn't do things right, you know.
so yeah, that's what attracts me personally to this project is the like the number one thing for me is the LP is there. I mean, this is more of a hobby that got out of control for me. I mean, that's how I got into crypto. It was just I was a stock guy. I've owned a tech company. You can read about me in Crypto Magazine. I'm on 4 pages, the latest issue. But my point is, I've done quite well offline, so it's hard for me to get excited. I mean, even other people. Oh, geez, I'm going to make $1 million on that. For me, it's not like it's more. It's just a thing that I want to do. I have no idea what I want to buy with the money. I already have everything. Like it's just, it's just something I want to do. And I don't like keeping money in the bank. So, because the bank actually, I don't get shit in the bank with big, decent sized balances. I mean, it's something we got to use in North America, a bank. But I mean, realistically, no one's going to tell you this stuff unless you come on here and spend the time. You're not going to hear this from the financial world in North America. Hey, don't leave your money in the bank. Pull it out and buy Elephant, or pull it out and buy Bitcoin or something big. No one's going to advise you this except for people that have done it. So that's why people got to come into these AMAs and spend time. I mean, you either want to make money or you want to just keep throwing your money recklessly into meme tokens and stuff. I've bought meme tokens, but it wasn't by fluke. I've hit on 8 or 9 of them. I mean, I didn't just go into a chat group, read the screen from people living in their mom's basements, no offense, and buy, and I throw like 10 grand at it. Like, you got to be kidding me. You still got to be careful with money, no matter how much you have or don't have. And I think the people are getting punished, especially in the bear market, who just bought a bunch of crap like meme coins. Because as everybody knows, and what we've gone over that, 1% of the people are going to cash out big and meme, and the 99%, it's like a lottery. That's their money that you're taking off the table at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We're here.
It's unethical.
And that's
It's
funny that
designed
you
how
brought
I
that
would
up.
design my project. Yeah, exactly. It's designed. Nobody thinks like me. That's why I haven't launched my project that's been in Crypto Magazine, just because I have to be 100%, in. I can't be 95% in because I self-fund all my utilities that I've personally built. So I don't want to launch and then have everybody disappointed when I don't want to be responsible for other people's money, especially in a bear market. That's why this project's kind of incredible that, look at the chart. It's very tough. I don't think there's some spiky projects out there, but there's no constant growth project in 2023 that kind of has a chart like this. I mean, it's not really, I look at tokens every day, probably 100. I mean, stable coins, whatever. I'm a huge XRP holder. I mean, I still believe in XRP, but XRP is going to be a different story. When it takes off, it's not going to be, it's going to be those ones where it takes off and you got to be up 24/7 to catch it. And then you're going to have to make the sell. And of course, who's sleeping loses, at some point. So different beast, but,
That's funny that you brought up the banks, because that's exactly what Gary Gensler got hammered on yesterday by the congressman, was his comment about the big companies talking to him about people taking their money out of the banks and putting it into crypto. And that's their biggest fear. And that's why they want control. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. And why they're doing what they're doing is in attacking crypto is because that is their fear. They don't want people taking their money out of the banks because that's their business and putting it into crypto because they have no more control.
Yeah, and they don't want people really in North America. They want to keep you down too.
Zero money in the bank. All of my money is in crypto. A lot of it in Elephant. And SK, why don't you explain how this chart, while it does look like it's, a fucking honeypot, go ahead and explain how this is just the curve and not the actual move up yet.
Oh, I heard you did. I heard you did that part. You missed it, man. You're a little bit late, but yeah, I explained this is just a blown up version of where we're at down here. Like we are repeating history minus the flash loan, and we are literally right here. This is the shape we are right now. We haven't even yet gone vertical. The vertical's coming.
Yeah, that was my bad, man. I was on a call, lasted a little longer than I would have liked, but definitely had to get over here for this as soon as I could.
No, you're
But
good, man.
obviously, I think I pretty much know just about everything about elephant money as far as that goes. But um, I can't. I There's nothing I can say that isn't bullish about this project. Um, just the fact that it did have a 267 million dollar exploit and has recovered almost 100% so far.
You said in the MMKK voice chat recently, we were just kind of kicking it, but you said you actually love the fact that there was an exploit. And you explained it really well. Yeah, can you go into
I
that?
do love the fact that there was an exploit because that in itself was a fully marketable event that it was okay. Yes, there was an exploit. It was fixed, and you see what it has done to this day. Yeah, it went a little bit sideways for a little bit, but and I had mass DMs from people telling me, "Hey, this is it. This is it. Get in, get in, get in at 50 million." And I didn't see them. Um, Shout out to Chris. He tried. He tried his best, but I didn't see the fucking DMs. But I did get in at 100 million because he, with an exploit like that and seeing the team just kept working and built around it and fixed the problem, fixed the issue, didn't give up, fixed the fucking issue, and the community the community didn't even sell. That big ass red dildo is from the exploit, not the community panic selling. These people held, and the biggest whale who owns 0.8% right now, under Bertha, um, he actually doubled down in that dip. That's how he got that 0.8%. He doubled down in that dip instead of panicking because he believed in what Bank Teller could do and what he is going to do and what he is doing. So, that right there alone is one of the most bullish aspects of this project is what happened with the exploit and what happened after the exploit.
Beautifully said. That's why I wanted you to repeat it while being recorded because we were just kicking it the other night. But yeah, man, spot on. I agree. And you having bought at 100 million market cap, that's where my cursor's at on the chart right now. Bruh, in the grand scheme of things, do you know how early you really are for what's coming? So,
Bro,
congrats,
even
man.
if I was just buying today, it's still so fucking early in the grand scheme of
Yes.
things.
Yes.
So, honestly, yes, I got lucky and I wish I would have put a lot more in at 100 million. I have put more in after that, but, I was lucky enough to get in around there. And me and DS were actually talking about elephant money when it was still in the 100 million range in MMKK. It was just a random kind of conversation in a VC, and we were talking about it in that range. So anybody that listened to us there or then could have got in, around there.
Yep, absolutely. So anything else from the people? I don't know, Crypto Kingdom, how much longer you want to make the recording?
I'm not married, so that's unlimited.
I am, but mine are still unlimited. My wife hates me.
Oh, looks
Finally,
like Sahilis wants to ask.
There we go.
Hey guys, hey.
Hello.
Firstly, thanks SK for getting me into Elephant Money. I don't know if you remember, but we DM'd each other, and I told you that I will get into Elephant Money when I have my funds available, and I have been doing that over the past month or so. So thanks for getting me into Elephant Money. My question is, like, we see the price appreciating by 2%, 3% daily. I've heard you repeatedly say 5%, 10%, 15% daily growth is on its way. So what is the parametric or the metric that you're looking at that makes you say that 5%, 10%, 15% is coming our way?
No, that's a really good question. I don't have a crystal ball. Everything at this point in time is just me looking at the past to predict what's going to happen in the future. So, when I go over this chart here in the red and the blue crossed, and that's how we went parabolic on this hockey stick. Well, the red and the blue crossed, and now we're on the elbow of the hockey stick. And, when we are straight vertical on the chart, because again, we are right here. We are right here. Okay. Pretty soon this thing's going to be straight vertical. And so when I say 5, 10, 15%, it's not financial advice. Don't take my word for it, but I'm telling you, that's what happened before. I'm just repeating the numbers that happened in the past. So don't be surprised if it is 5, 10, 15, 20% when we're vertical on the chart. So yeah, good question.
Plus, you got to remember too the market as well. I mean, come on, there's this market right now. We're probably seeing a tenth every day overall being put in any projects if you add everything up. So just the market alone, it's probably on the safe side. If we're at 2%, it would be 4%, 6%, just from a better market condition. We're below an average market condition right now, and it's 2%, 3%. So that's my perspective.
And not only that,
money. Yeah.
That's a good perspective, Crypto Kingdom, as well. To add to that, we have more BNB coin in our LP than we did at the pre-exploit actually. So right now, because at the time, think about it. In March 2022, I think BNB price. Remember how you said you just always rule of thumb think BNB's $400 because it stayed there for so long. That's where it was last time. Yeah. And now we're at $200. We have half the price of BNB. And now we're about to cross previous all-time high. And we've got, we're number 3 holder with 100. I think, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think pre-exploit, we only had 65,000 BNB coins. And we hit that all-time high in the past. Now we have nearly double that amount. And the BNB price is halved, right? You see where I'm going with this? So whenever BNB pops off, you've got a spring-loaded action that is going to really just send this through the roof. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. It's really cool.
Well, it's actually, an hour and a half in. It's something that hasn't been mentioned. People are forgetting the fact that BNB could be at $600, which triples everything too. I mean,
yes,
because it's been at 600 before.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. You got to think
something people don't even think
high.
about, right?
You got to think
Exactly.
BNB all-time high, $600, and we're coming into the bull run. BNB should, by all rights, be way more than $600, at the peak of the bull run. So, if it goes to 800, you've already 3x. Even if nobody buys a single token, you 3x your investment just from the BNB value in the LP going up.
Yeah, people completely forget about that, forget about that whole aspect of things. That's why I myself always like reward tokens, because at least I didn't have to just stare at a market cap all day. So I figure, that's how I always bought dividend stocks, because I was a stock guy for years. I wouldn't buy a stock unless it paid 10, 14% dividend, because while I'm waiting 5 years for it to go up, I might as well be making something with my money. So that's the idea here. But then you start
biggest McDonald's shareholder.
Oh yeah,
McDonald's and Coke. This guy was loaded up with those stocks because those were the highest paying dividend stocks.
I think what's his name? What's the hell's the billionaire's name? That's what he's all about. Why am I blanking on his name?
You talking about Warren Buffett?
Yeah, he loves that. I mean, that's what he says. I mean, most billionaires are like, yeah, never buy a stock. I mean, Kevin O'Leary says it too. I mean, yeah, never buy a stock unless you're getting something in return. So why are people, even myself, why am I buying crypto projects that do nothing. It's some, dog with wings. And then, it's just everybody got greedy in the bull market watching these things with nothing go up. So everybody was saying, hey, if I'm going to get rich fast, I'm buying the Flying Dragon token, but then, some people, it worked out for them. But then again, 99.9 probably, they're all crying. I get a lot of DMs. Man, did I get hit hard on the last 2 years of this wait out, because everybody's down. The majority of the stable coins alone are down 10 to 20x, because I do reviews on all of them, and I work with a couple of them close, and they're all down 10 and 20x. So I could just imagine if you had meme coins, what they're down. They're down probably 50, 100x each. So if you held, but then you get stuck because there's no LP once again, and then you miss the sell because you got to be up with those meme coins, because they're just one day. You don't know which day it's going to be the 500x. and then it's over after that. So
yeah.
No,
Well,
I
hopefully,
agree with you
it's a
100%.
lottery. Yeah.
On
Well, I do hope
on
that.
multiple.
I'll go ahead.
I was just gonna say I agree with them on multiple things as far as buying reward tokens. Yeah, with that volume, whether you win or lose on the token itself, I've had multiple reward tokens where I have far exceeded my initial investment in just rewards alone. So, don't buy something if it isn't going to give back. And elephant money is one of those things where it does give back. Proof in the pudding. Just generate your own referral link. Any elephant money holder can generate their own referral link and give that out. And I've got, just in the past couple of days, I've got a couple $100 just from people using my link. Just actually one guy using my link and and buying elephant money. So anybody that is holding elephant money, even if you just have one token, I don't care. Go and generate that link and share it out and teach people about the actual project. Teach people about the protocol and show them the gains that they can make. It's on a regular basis. It's 2 to 3% a day just on the token itself. If they get into the NFTs, which, I've got my NFT staked and I pull those rewards and I've got another bag that I can give that link out to as well. There is always ways to make money with elephant money. I'm sure SK didn't go too much into Trunk or Trumpet or anything like that, but Trunk
Not at all.
has,
Not at all.
just in the past 2 weeks, Trunk has gone from 13 cents to like 20 cents, I think. I don't even know what it's at right now, but you take that Trunk and you put it into Trumpet, you turn it into Trumpet, and Trumpet is constantly being bought. It's constantly being bought. So, guys, just look into the whole ecosystem. Yeah, he's just talking right now about elephant token. He's just talking about that. But there is way more to this, that once you actually get involved and learn about this, there is so much that there are exponential gains to be made in multiple assets of this ecosystem.
Spot on. I don't even need a closing statement.
Yeah, and it's in the best interest to use somebody's link because it saves you. Even if you don't want to make so-and-so money because they already got money or whatever the case is, because people are just like that. Hey, you're going to save, other than you save a killing buying it through the dapp
100%.
on a link compared to go to Pancake Swap, pay the slippage and more tax. So, use somebody's link. To not use somebody's link, you're actually losing yourself. So why not help
100%.
somebody out, and then that person, uses your link. Just find somebody else. Everybody can find one person. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, and that when it comes to buying elephant, buy elephant on the elephant page in the website. If you're using somebody's to save that tax, and I know that we're not focusing on Trunk, but we have spoken about it. So if you are going to go buy some trunk, do the opposite. Buy trunk on PancakeSwap. Because if you buy trunk on the website, you'll get charged 1-to-1, like it's pegged still.
Yeah. Trust me, I learned that live in VC with SK listening, and I'm like, wait a minute, I fucked up.
Bought $100.
I messed up, but no, it was a test because it tells you right there on the website. It's 1-to-1 BUSD to trunk, and so I did a test buy with 30 BUSD, and obviously, yeah, it said I had 30 trunk, and I'm like, well, that's not right. But yeah, buy it on PancakeSwap.
Buy elephant token on the website, and if you buy trunk,
eventually, like a year from now, I will have like a random $30 in BUSD coming back into my wallet. But yeah, buy it on PancakeSwap, and then you buy Trumpet on the website with that trunk.
Yeah, there's a lot to dive into with trunk. I am gonna have to bounce here in a little bit, but I'll wet your whistle for some food for thought here, bro. But check this out, Crypto Kingdom. You're in futures right now, and I know you got like 3 wallets, but there's some people, if you're not hard pressed for some cash flow right now, and you're content with your elephant bag, you could make a trunk play, just like Trumpet, that Papa Stonks mentioned. But Stampede is literally identical to futures. It just doesn't use BUSD. It uses a trunk token. And I'll give you a quick example, and then y'all can go research on YouTube. But right now, if you had $10,000, for example, you could put it all into futures, and you can compound it once a week with $200. But by summer of 2024, your $10,000 would have only grown to like, I don't know, $25,000 that you're earning 0.5% a day on, maybe that. Whereas $10,000 buying cheap trunk right now, $10,000 times 4 would be 40,000 trunk tokens. You can then lock up 40,000 trunk tokens into Stampede, and then when trunk is at peg, that's $40,000 you're earning 0.5% a day on. So, and likewise with Trumpet, there's so many good sneak plays in this ecosystem. But yeah, trunk, don't sleep on that. But do that after you're content with your elephant token at minimum, and your NFTs and futures. Yep.
Perfect. Sounds good, man. So if anybody's got any questions, well, for me anyways, I can help you. You can DM me. I'm up 24/7. I am in Eastern time zone, so if I am sleeping, it's usually between 3 and 6 a.m. Eastern, if I do. So yeah, thanks to SK Crypto K for coming in here. This is basically, I call him the spokesman, I guess, for this project because he's right on it. This is what he's got all of his money into, which he can completely focus on this, which is actually a good thing because I'm all over the place with 100 different, I'm not going to lie, I'm not all in elephants, yeah. I'm not going to lie. He is, so obviously when it comes to elephant questions, yeah, I know what's going on between the elephant and the futures. When it comes to the other stuff, I've looked at it, obviously done a YouTube, and I'm going to do a weekly futures YouTube. And that's why I'm running 3 different wallets, because people would say, what an idiot, he's got 3 different futures. Well, that's because I was just playing with different scenarios, just feeding it. I was just fooling around, with feeding it every week or feeding it every 3 days just to see what works the best. And it's just, I'm just playing around with it more than anything. So, but anyways, that's how we're going to leave it for now. As things, develop, we can come back in here and hopefully get back to our 100, 150 in an AMA. Of course, the market condition will definitely help the amount of people. They're just not online like they used to be. But that's the way it is. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks to everybody that came in. MMKK guys and Crypto K. And, yeah, so if you have questions, it's, you can DM me. I got most of the answers, but obviously SK Crypto K's got more than me because he knows the project. He's all in on here. And everybody have a great night. And again, thanks for coming in. And we have this recorded, so I will I'll share it, I guess, in multiple groups. Everybody can, if you can't find it, just DM me. But it's going to be out there, so you can pick it up. It's worth listening to. I mean, because we really didn't talk too much bullshit. So like no strip joint talk and Ted the Bear and all that crap. Not tonight. So stay focused, make money, get some sleep. Okay, so thanks everybody for coming in. I'll stop the recording and I'll get SK Crypto a copy, and then you can post it all over. So thanks,
Awesome.
Pop
Thanks,
Stonks,
man.
for your input as well. Okay, thanks guys. Have a great night.
SK, send me that recording when you get it so I can throw it or just throw it in the Dell when you get a chance.
All right, brother. All right. Thank you guys. Take care. Yeah.